I never thought desire could creep into my life so quietly, slipping between the cracks of my marriage like light under a closed door. My name is Daniel Carter, 41 years old, husband to a woman who long ago stopped looking at me the way a wife should. For the past 3 years, our bedroom had become just another space in the house, a place to sleep, not to touch, not to feel. I told myself this was normal, the slow erosion of passion in a long-term marriage. But normal or not, it left me hollow. Then Caleb moved in. My nephew, my brother's son, barely 20, standing at the crossroads of youth and manhood. He had nowhere else to go. His parents had sent him away after a fight that no one wanted to explain. I didn't ask questions. I had always been the uncle he turned to, the one who never judged him too harshly. He needed a place. I had a spare room. Simple. But nothing about Caleb was ever simple. From the moment he arrived, the air in the house changed. My wife, Rebecca, barely acknowledged him beyond polite nods and the occasional meal. She had long ago receded into her own world of quiet detachment, absorbed in work, in distractions, in anything but me. Caleb, on the other hand, was vibrant, electric. He filled the silence I had grown used to, his presence a stark contrast to the absence that had become my marriage. He moved through the house with a confidence that was unsettling, comfortable, familiar, like he belonged there more than I did. He stretched across the couch in nothing but sweatpants, muscles lean and defined beneath his tanned skin. He spoke freely, laughed loudly, and when he looked at me, it was with eyes that held something unreadable, something that made my stomach tighten in a way I refused to name. One evening, after Rebecca had gone to bed early as she often did, Caleb and I sat together in the dim glow of the living room lamp. A bottle of whiskey between us, the conversation lazy, unguarded. He spoke of the city, of his plans, of the men he had met and the ones he had left behind. I listened, letting the sound of his voice wrap around me like warmth I hadn't felt in years. "You ever think about what you really want, Uncle Danny?" Caleb asked, swirling the amber liquid in his glass. His voice was low, almost teasing. I exhaled a slow breath. "That's a dangerous question. Only if you're afraid of the answer." His gaze held mine, steady, waiting. I felt exposed under it, as if he saw through the years of restraint, the layers of duty and self-denial. I swallowed, set my glass down, and shook my head. "It's late," I said, standing. "I should turn in." Caleb smirked, leaning back against the couch, stretching like a satisfied predator. "Sweet dreams, Uncle." I walked away, but I could still feel his eyes on me, lingering long after I had closed my bedroom door. The house no longer felt like mine. Caleb moved through it as if he had always belonged there, his presence both unsettling and intoxicating. I found myself anticipating his movements, my ears tuned to the sound of his bare feet padding down the hallway, the casual hum of his voice when he showered. The air between us grew thick with something unspoken, something electric, and I felt its charge in every glance, every brush of his arm against mine. One evening, Rebecca went to bed early again, leaving me alone with Caleb in the living room. He sprawled across the couch, his shirt hanging loose, collarbones exposed. The television flickered, but neither of us was really watching. "You're quiet tonight," Caleb mused, stretching, his shirt riding up just enough to reveal the cut of his abdomen. "Something on your mind, Uncle Danny?" I hesitated. "Just tired." He smirked, his gaze flickering over me. "Liar." I didn't respond. Instead, I drained the last of my drink, letting the burn settle deep in my chest. Caleb shifted, turning toward me, his knee brushing mine. He didn't pull away. Neither did I. "You know," he murmured, "I've been thinking, your wife never seems to notice much, does she?" A sharp inhale. I turned to him, but his expression was unreadable, calculated. "Testing." "She's busy," I replied, though the words felt hollow. Caleb let out a soft laugh. "Too busy to notice that her husband is lonely?" "Too busy to notice that he paused, his voice dipping lower, "starving?" My pulse pounded against my throat. Caleb. Relax, uncle, he interrupted, leaning closer. It's just an observation. He watched me, waiting, eyes gleaming with something I refused to name. And then, before I could form a response, he stood, stretching lazily. I think I'll head to bed. Unless you need something? A challenge? A dare? I exhaled sharply. No. Good night, Caleb. He grinned, backing away toward the hallway. Good night, Uncle Danny. He disappeared into the shadows, leaving me alone with a body tense with restraint and a mind flooded with thoughts I shouldn't be having. I should have put a stop to it. I should have drawn a line, built a wall, done something to put out the fire before it burned through everything. But I didn't. And something told me that Caleb knew I wouldn't. The night it finally happened, the house was steeped in silence. Rebecca had left for a work trip, an absence that should have brought relief but only heightened the tension that had been simmering beneath the surface. Caleb and I were alone. No barriers, no excuses. He found me in the kitchen, his body close, his breath warm against my skin as he reached past me to grab a glass. The moment stretched, his fingers brushing against my arm, lingering just a second too long. My breath hitched, and I knew this was the moment I could still turn back. You're shaking, Caleb murmured, his voice barely above a whisper. Why? I swallowed hard. You know why. A slow, knowing smile. Then stop pretending. His hand slid over mine, a gentle but deliberate touch. My resolve crumbled, and in that instant restraint ceased to exist. I turned, meeting his lips with a hunger I had denied for far too long. The kitchen counter dug into my back, his hands gripping my hips as he pressed against me, firm, demanding. I let go, of guilt, of fear, of everything but the raw, undeniable need that had been clawing at my chest. I knew what this meant. I knew there was no undoing it. And I didn't care. The morning after felt like a fever dream, the air thick with the weight of what had happened. I woke up tangled in unfamiliar sheets, the scent of Caleb still lingering on my skin. Reality crashed into me like a tidal wave. I had crossed a line that could never be redrawn. Footsteps in the hallway. A pause outside the door. Then Rebecca's voice. Daniel. My breath hitched. Caleb stirred beside me, his smirk lazy and satisfied. The door handle turned. The secret was seconds away from unraveling.